Well, say that was fun. Uh, had a little cancellation on the other end. So I guess I guess I'm not technically double booked anymore. So we're gonna keep trucking. I have some time. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, back to our pile o' treasure. We are going to get some gold on here, and oh boy. Right, yeah, definitely a bit of a bonus. Yeah, at first I was like, oh man, don't want to miss both things, but yeah, luckily, and a bit unfortunately, well, I guess definitely luckily, they managed to snag some concert tickets that they were hoping to go see, and for a band we mutually enjoy, and I'm happy that they got to go and do that. So that is really cool. Um, and I bet they're gonna have a great time too. So with that being said, after a short hiatus, we're right back to it. I I kind of feel a little bit bad though. I'll have to message Sapphire later and let her know like, hey, we had a bit of a mix up. I wasn't trying to pull any shenanigans there. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean my needle off on the airbrush here before we continue. Well, I'm surprised. Uh, I'm surprised to see you back so quick there, Todd. Thanks for coming back. So let's get some more stuff going on here. A couple more drops in the bucket with our airbrush flow improver. My standard go-to stuff. Gonna be hacking at it with rich gold next for our next layer color. This one I'm gonna put on the shaker real quick, just because it's metallic. I'll run a little bit of that flow aid through the airbrush here while we're talking, just to lubricate the needle. All right. So we are going to be using quite a bit of paint for this. But it looks like our yellow is getting a bit tacky over there, which is good. I'm going to get this gold mixed in the pot, in the color cup, I should say. I was trying to figure out what to name the second stream. I was like, I guess 8.2. Because I already put it's part, 8, I guess, of this process. But I was like, what do I name this? Look at that color. That is a really pretty gold color. kind of hard to show up against the harsh LEDs on the paint booth. But I need those I need that kind of light in there to show me all of the little detail as I go around it and paint it up. But you'll see as we go through here the color transition that's gonna happen. It'll kind of mute this yellow just a hair. Let's see here. Gotcha. Well, hey, see, I guess it provides a useful function. That silly little bell does. They're gonna go see Skillet tonight at a local venue. So I'm really excited for them. I can't wait to hear how that concert goes. As we lay down some basing layers here of this wonderful rich gold color. And thanks for sharing all the stuff, Todd. I appreciate that, man. Like, I should like set up a special little like name tag thing for you. When I guess when you get big enough, you can do things like that. But warrior of the miniatures or something like that. Champion of the channel. There you go. That would be a fun one to christen ye. I think at some point I got to go back to Dreamer's Vault too. That game shop was pretty cool. So Todd, you got any good plans for tonight, my friend? Anything interesting that you're gonna be up to? And as you guys can probably tell, the mic clips every now and then when I'm spraying, and it's just I have it set up on with some compression because the spray booth is actually pretty loud. You can get ones that are quieter for more money, but this is just kind of what I have at hand. And that's kind of why you'll hear that some of those audio artifacts and little hisses here and there, kind of unavoidable with the amount of space I have devoted down here in the creation cave. As you can see, that yellow that we have down before it, it's just hiding anywhere that I might have missed, because I am human after all. I can't get everywhere, although I try. Sometimes I do miss a little spot, but that yellow kind of helps. Helps blend everything in if I've accidentally missed a spot, like the back of this gold bar, for example. Just saw that. However, if I had missed it in the final product, I would have been kind of safe with that yellow poking out. Also breaks it up for the eyes too. Many colors gives a air of realism to a piece. That wouldn't normally be there, which is why our flagstones, I decided instead of just going all gray, we could put a little green in there. Or if you're not a fan of green, you could do a little purple or whatever color you'd like. You know, I probably would go with blue at that point. But just however your tastes and your desires fancy at that moment is what I would say. And I'm definitely doing many layers of gold here. Got just a little thick on the back of that chest there, but that's fine. We'll brush over that with some brown once we have all this gold settled in and locked in there. Isn't that pretty? Got a little Midas's pile right here. All right. Just make sure I'm hitting the inside of this chest just right. You know what? We're actually going to paint the inside of this chest gold too. And you'll see what I'm thinking a little bit later. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make it look kind of like some of this gold is reflecting onto these chests. But we're just going to do the inside and kind of give it a very light spray of like a dark gray or a black in the back of there. Spray over it again. But it'll leave some of that gold behind. Kind of make some pretty shadows for us. So there we have that. Next, we'll go on to some highlights, which will be fun. At some point here, I'm going to have to get up and actually change out the cleaning cup because it's getting really full. I don't have to change it very often. Little water in there. I'm gonna grab my brush and just kind of swirl around on the inside of here with some water, just to make sure I'm picking up all those little particulates that could have possibly been left behind. There we go. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in the cup again and spray it out into the discharge cup. There we go. Check it out on the white of the what do you know? I actually do have another cup down here for cleaning. So here we go. I just tend to use these paper cups, and when they get really gunked up, I'll just huck them, throw them in the trash, and call it good. And then, the discharge stuff kind of goes in here, and that's just because it's got a stand, so that I can, with the other hand, I can go grab stuff. So let's see here. That was rich gold. On to bright gold next, which I'm going to go and throw into the paint shaker. got ourselves some bright gold now. Go ahead and get a little flow improver in our cup. Not going to need too much of this because we're not going to be able to highlight every coin, but we're going to give it the appearance as though we have highlighted many coins, and that will help us out. All right, put you back there. Mix it up in the pot. Perfect. Let's go to paint. So I'm just kind of going around and making just some really quick kind of highlights where I think the light would probably hit some of these coins. And just to give it a little bit more interest, some pizzazz, some flair, I guess, to it. And it's just very subtly changing the color in some of these areas. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up on the camera because when I do highlights on gold, it's like it's a little goes a long way. Because I don't want to make it too white because otherwise it kind of turns into a rose gold kind of effect. Except on the areas you really want it to be. I'm kind of tending to focus around just the tops of these piles. Some like these gold bars are a great place to do it. So let's see if I can get this to the point where the camera can kind of pick it out. It's really reflective. Maybe you can make that out a little bit. But we got ourselves some nice golden highlights on here. just kind of makes a bit more contrast in our piece. So we have that done. Our gold, just like that, has become a much more gleaming. Oops, sorry about getting the camera there. It's become a bit more of a gleaming treasure pile here. Gonna get my paintbrush and give her a little swirl in the bottom there, just to make sure we dislodge any paint that could potentially get stuck in the airbrush. Give her another real good rinsing down in the neck, and then give her a real good spray out in the discharge pot. Perfect. And then we've got ourselves a nice clean airbrush to go at the next phase of this with, which we're gonna have to let this sucker dry because it has now gotten 2 real good layers of gold paint on it, which is good. Yeah. The most of it has been tackled. However, now we're going to have to go and pick out some wood bits, and looks like a couple little sackets, and our shield piece, which I think we will add some color to the piece by making them different than just gold. I'm going to just shift the camera a little bit here so that maybe you guys can get a better view of our gold highlights. You can kind of see them poke out in these areas here. So we're gonna wait for that to dry. If you are rejoining us for 8.2 Electric Boogaloo, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Now, do I want to silly putty this, or yeah, we're probably gonna end up silly puttying this just a little bit. So I'm gonna get my silly putty out here and ready to rock, because you kind of gotta warm this stuff up in your hands, and I'll knead it in my palms to warm up the silly putty and awaken the spirit of the silly putty. So, and with this kind of project, with a base of this size, you know, the airbrush was kind of a no-brainer tool choice for it. You know, some of the other smaller projects are a bit harder to do with the airbrush. We did the eggs, the little dragon egg in the last stream, and a project like that is going to be mostly brushwork, just because it's really small. But something this big, we were able to get really quick coverage on our base, and some very quick highlights and make some really cool effects on there very, very quickly. Within about 30 minutes, we have ourselves a really gorgeous pile of gold. Well, it's a pile of lead, but painted like gold. So right there, we have ourselves some fantastic progress. So I think we're gonna shoot for the easy stuff first with these little treasure chests. I'm gonna roll out some silly putty here, and see if we can't get us some basing down for this here treasure chest. And silly putty will naturally just kind of ooze into these areas. Sorry if I'm kind of doing this a little bit off shot here, but I'm just kind of playing with it so that I'm gonna base this little sacket guy here in brown too. We can come back later with a brush too and get that the parts that are closer to the gold, where we need a bit more fine control than what I currently am able to do with the airbrush. But we will we'll base that in brown as well. At least as much as we can get of it from our quick little silly putty masking spree here. Get as much as we can. I don't know, maybe I'll leave some of the gold on the bottom of the treasure chest just to kind of make it look like the gold is shining on it. So I'm just going to fold that bit over. Gonna get that to go where I'd like it to. Get another little piece of our putty. This is going to be a little harder because we're closing out a gap here in our putty mask. There we go. We'll just kind of tuck her up right where we need her. There we go. Okay. And there we have it. That's going to be our mask for our first treasure chest ordeal here. Now I got to find some browns to use to make this treasure chest stand out. So we're going to be using dark and light umber, same kind of recipe I've used for doing leathers in the past. Also works great for wood. So I'm going to put some dark umber on the paint shaker here and get that going. Now I tend to really like these two umber shades, and I believe you get them in the starter set for Monument now. Like they just come stock standard. And I think I got mine in an expansion maybe. Um, but yeah, you get these guys right off the bat, which I thought was awesome because I really love these two shades together. They're very good looking. Uh, Now, another thing, I was talking to our friend, the Dungeon Delver, Mr. Bill Sylvie, the other night, and he was raving about Reaper's um, Triad colors. So at some point on the show, I think it would be kind of cool to give that a little review and put it through the Paint Minis Live painting paces and check those out. I used to use some Reaper paints. I did, and I liked them. To be honest, I did. It was just I never had a ton of access to them because the hobby store that I was frequenting at the time did not have them available all the time. They would bring in a bunch and then they would sell them, and then they would bring in a bunch and they'd sell them, and I just wouldn't be there at the right time to get my hands on some. Just mixing up some of this brown on the color cup here. There we go. Very nice. Cool. Got a nice, rich, dark brown going on here. Is going to really bring out that gold and have the colors around it kind of pop out at us. Looking good. That is very nice. It's very nice. Okay. So real quick here, I'm going to change colors in the cup. We're gonna do some light brown, or some of this burnt umber. Actually, come to think of it, I maybe don't even need to do that just yet. We can come back and remask this stuff, but we have like 3 other treasure chests to go after here. And as you can see, the putty comes right off. There's no tear on the paint or anything. It does a pretty good job at only sticking where it's supposed to, and not really leaving a residue. Although now it apparently, don't get this on cork, because it's now like chewing gum on the cork. That's okay. We'll figure out how to get it off. Kind of peel her off here. Yeah, it's kind of the underside of this cork here is looking like a mess. Okay, yeah. So just do the kids Play-Doh tactic and just kind of try and get it off by sticking it on there and taking it off. But be careful of your cork. So ain't that kind of cool? That mask worked out really well for our treasure chest. Left us with a very nice little deal there. I will probably end up spraying just a little gold on there at the end, just so we have a nice, beautiful little kind of shimmer effect on there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to mask these two quite as well. I will definitely be masking the inside of this, though, the inside of this larger treasure chest. But I think what I'm going to do is just be really careful. I'm going to mask the back side of it and maybe the other side, but I'm going to just kind of try and be really careful of it. Right. There we are. There we are. Kind of gathering up some excess here. Just because that little area over there is not going to be easy to kind of cordon off, so to speak. But we're going to get some of these other areas masked up. Very nice. And then we'll try and get the bowl area sorted here too. It's kind of a nice little trick this silly putty masking is, and it is quick and it's easy, and it's not. I have some Albert Long 502. Their liquid mask here too, and you could potentially use this. This is a natural liquid latex. Unless if you're allergic to latex, I wouldn't recommend using liquid mask unless if you know for sure there's no latex in it. But let's see if we can get the autofocus to kind of come down with us. Would you please? There we go. Slowly but surely. But liquid masking, you basically take a brush you wouldn't really care about, and then you can essentially get you can essentially just take that and paint it on your model. And what would happen is after some exposure to the air, it's designed to harden, and then you can peel it off almost like in one sheet, almost like you're doing this putty masking. But it's a bit harder. You have to glop it on and kind of do it in layers if you're doing something a bit more refined or delicate. I think maybe we could actually mask off this small area of gold with just this little piece of putty here. If it will, we can get a nice little strip going. I'm gonna get my one of my dental picks out. I think I'm just gonna. See if I can get that to settle in there. Very nice. And then just another little piece. I thought that was going to be a bit trickier than it actually turned out to be. So we're having happy little experiments happen over here on Paint Minis tonight. And that's all she took, folks. Right there was just kind of just that, and now we've got So now, does this take a little extra time to do the masking part rather than just hitting it with the airbrush? I mean, yeah, sure it does. But it does leave you with some really nice, clean lines, and it kind of gives you a nice starting point without any brush strokes in there. I'm probably going to end up needing to wet my needle after it's been kind of chilling there with some brown on it. So I'm just going to kind of rehydrate you, and then I'm going to take this sponge just like I'm doing the color changes, and try and see if I can get that sponge to just barely touch the needle. And we should be back to the races in essence here. And we are. There we go. So even though that guy had been sitting there for a hot minute, we can kind of just rejuvenate it and lubricate our airbrush again. Now with the direction that I've kind of got this pointed in, I'm not really trying to spray it this way into the actual chest itself, because I'm going to try and get a different kind of effect on that later, where we kind of make it look like the chest has got the gold shimmering into the back of it. There we go. Kind of just making sure that I hide all that yellow from earlier. Very nice. All right. I'm going to call that good. Well, we've got those guys masked up. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the color cup here. And I'm going to go ahead and we can get on to our next color, which is going to be the light umber. Just going to make sure we've got all the little particles of dark brown paint in there from our chit chat session all taken care of. There we go. I think one final little flush ought to do it. Looks like there was just a little bit more in the neck, which is kind of what I was afraid of. You don't want to leave your airbrush just chilling with paint in it for too long. But it looks like we're kind of getting all of it out. There we go. All right. Now we should have a nice clean airbrush to go on to our next step with. So on to our light umber. I'm going to get that in the shaker. Oh, hey there, RPG Grandma. Good to see you. I hope you had a great stream earlier. I was talking about it. I was just saying how folks should go take a look at your new expansion for Traveler. It sounded like you guys were having a pretty deep discussion on gravity and how that works in space, which sounded like a lot of fun. I was just on a break at work and had to make sure I put the time in before I left, you know. Ship designs and artificial gravity. That needs to be an album. How's your night going? You doing anything fun tonight? And by the way, those paints that you got, you can use those with a standard brush too. Like, it's not you don't have to just use it in an airbrush. You can use them like regular model paints too. I tend to thin mine down a lot thinner, and then I can just run them through the airbrush. You can run almost on any acrylic through an airbrush if you thin it right. So that's where I tend to use these in the airbrush a lot. But you can use them just with a regular standard brush. I do it all the time. I also found out too why the dungeon minister and you had been telling me to be wary of Gamma World. I joined him and a couple other folks over at James Keck Publishing's Discord channel, and they were playing Gamma World, and I hopped in as an NPC, and that NPC was dead in 5 minutes. Which was a lot of fun. I was playing a half llama, half man named Lamatsu, and I ended up trying to tackle some kind of Irradiated Bat. And Lamatsu was no more in just a couple of minutes, like in real time. Lamatsu was gone. So I learned the hard way. It was, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just tackle it, and then maybe I'll have Bogo go and knife it with his vibro blade or whatever he had on him. And no, that's not how this works. I learned the hard way. So that was a lot of fun, though. That James has a wonderful Discord over there with Sapphires in there too. He's got a really nice Discord, and you could probably, if anybody's watching this in the future, you could get a hold of James through the Dungeon Delvers Discord, which he's usually got up. I haven't made one yet, but I've been thinking I might. But you can get a hold of James and go ask to play his Southern style Blazing Sixes or Gamma World or whatever you want. Like he's just a lot of fun to play with, and he runs these things for free and whatnot. Yeah, definitely not like D&D 5e. It's a bit more like I don't know, some kind of almost military simulator kind of thing where every bullet could be lethal at just the right time. There we go. I'm just gonna very carefully run some highlight brown through here. So, what's been new, RPG Grandma? How did the stream go? Did you had a good turnout? There's some folks in there looking for you to spill the beans on. Ooh, okay. A Minotaur Artificer in 5e in Ravenloft. I've heard of those names before. Like I've seen some of those name drops. Castles of Ravenloft, and I've heard oh boy, The Curse of Strahd is another one that I've heard a lot of. Like, are those like iconic modules, or are they just ones that are just really flipping good that people like reference a lot? They kind of like the how would I put it? The community standard for what modules are or / should be. So there we have some nice little highlights on our wood that are just a little bit of shade above what we were originally shooting for there. Because okay, got it. So it's kind of got this Victorian Gothic thing going on. All right, I can get with that. That sounds fun. And then, as far as I know, Curse of Strahd is like a vampire, something to do with a vampire. And apparently, it's another kind of Gothic horror setting thing. But I mean, are those modules, are those kind of like what people expect as, you know, for like, are those the gold standard per se, you know, for modules in D&D? Okay, cool. Gotcha. I'm really excited to see Bill unpackage this Dragon Bundle when it's all done. I can't wait for it. I think he's gonna lose his mind, or at least I hope. Okay, all right, yeah. I can see, you know, some folks getting a bit attached to, you know, their characters and such. Like I have definitely had a couple of characters that are near and dear to my heart, and I don't want them to die. So I can see how people would be like, oh well, I didn't like that module because it killed off these, you know, some of my favorite characters that I've been working on for ages and ages. And there's our pretty treasure chests. Right there. Collecting clues, things you need, intel, gaining allies. Oh, so there's even like some almost like political intrigue and stuff that kind of follows the story too, huh? That sounds like it would be really fun. All right. Now I think it is all down to brushwork, folks. And there's not much else I can really do without a brush at this point. At least with the airbrush, there are limitations to the tool. We're on a mission from God. The Blues Brothers. Would you like to hear a funny story that happened in my past? My mom specifically loves to tell this story, but we're at a church function when I was like really young. This Wednesday night kind of dinner thing, and then they had a little like sermon or whatever going down. And I was just a wee little tot, And my parents, like months and months before, they had let me watch Blues Brothers, and it was over like spring, not spring break, but over like the school summer kind of calendar area there. And so that I had all of this time to forget about it before I went back to school, and they were trying to but they wanted me to, I was getting a little bit older and they were like, we can show them some of these cheesy movies. And I watched that and Poltergeist that summer. Well, I was at this church function when I was a wee little kid, like, maybe 10, somewhere like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. I don't know, like pretty young though. No, I was even younger than that, maybe. But I was a wee lad. And they asked me if I wanted to say grace, and I kind of free formed it because I never really had anything planned. And I was, thank you very much for bringing us together, and thanks for the food and all of this. And then I said, because at the end of the day, we're all on a mission from God. And it was just then that I thought that everybody had contracted a case of like the sniffles all at once. And I just heard from around the room this. And I had realized that I had stepped on that toe of the generation that grew up with that. So one of our friends leaned over to my mom and was like, did he just reference the Blues Brothers? And my mom was like, yeah, I think he did. I think he did. I was up there, and I don't think I could figure out how to work the penguin into it, since there weren't any nuns around. So I couldn't really work the penguin into it, but I had the mission from God, Grace, done up there. But she loves to tell that story to everybody. So let me see. Hold on here. I keep telling the cleric we're on a mission from God, and you are the Brotherhood of Woe. Nice. There you go. Oh boy. I like how gaming can bring out so much. I mean, it's hilarious, it's fun, it's dramatic. It's all the things you would want in a TV show without having to criticize it, because you know what? You're the player. You're the writer, of your own story, and we're all playing it together. That's what I like about gaming. Whether it's on a tabletop, or playing a war game, or you're playing an RPG game with your friends, online with a virtual tabletop or something. It's a very, very unique game, and it's a very human way to bring out that adult play in us that sometimes can get lost. I just realized that I hadn't painted the shield yet, and that is a shame. We will be painting the shield to add more color to our absolutely bonkers treasure pile, because it's not just staying gold. We need some legit color in here. That brown is all right, but we need some actual color. So we're gonna do this up some. Make us a cool shield, like maybe a white and blue, something really off the wall. A warlock, a cleric, and a minotaur. A warlock, a cleric, and a minotaur walk into a bar. That sounds like a good start of a joke for some nerd humor. gonna grab my dental pick here and just kind of tuck that putty into crevices here. How goes the setup on your crafting space there, RPG Grandma? How's that going? Are you gonna be painting at some point? I was kind of telling the class, so to speak, telling the class earlier about how I've kind of been thinking about doing some. Okay, well, yeah, you don't want to overdo the pasta, right? I can totally understand. But I was kind of telling the class a little earlier, so to speak, I guess the class, the proverbial everybody in the room, how I've got a website, paintminislive.com, and I've kind of been contemplating about making some more, a bit more to the point content. This is kind of a nice free form show to talk and express a bit. But kind of doing some legitimate teaching stuff on the website itself as a very affordable kind of painting class kind of thing, and having that be a way to support the channel if they'd like get some value for their patronage. But so if you're interested in the future, let me know and I'll give you a review, like a reviewer's code or something, like a sampler's code, so you can get in there and check it out and learn some of these tips and tricks I've kind of managed to find from various places along the way in my own painting journey. But if that's something you think you'd like, let me know, and I'll get you in on that. Okay, gotcha. Gonna weekend warrior that project. I can totally understand. I'm kind of sitting in the same boat here with a couple of things myself. Mainly just honeydew lists in real life that I have to figure out. Lighting is always a big thing. If you've got a spare desk lamp or something, I would highly recommend putting that as part of your little setup for your crafting area. But that'll be cool. Are you gonna put out any pictures like this is the grandma's crafting corner? Because I'd love to see it. I had here it is, ivory. I had my ivory somewhere. Well, I actually most of the equipment I have in here that's not strictly dedicated for streaming, which at some point I'll have to do a Paint Minis Live Creation Cave tour in the future here. But all of my paint equipment basically fits in a large Rubbermaid tub. I'm not sure the exact size, but I think it's like a 40-gallon. How do I describe that thing? because I was actually unpacking it a bit today. We're gonna do a little quick. It's that guy down there, um, and that guy over there is basically what houses all of my painting equipment minus the spray booth, and the spray booth is just like a little suitcase sized dealio there. Um, and I have some lights that are in there that are like just collapsible desk lights. You know what? We're gonna do a little. I can figure this out here. There we go. Hello. All right. We'll do a quick show and tell. I've got these little desk lamps that are LED strip bar lamps. You can get these kind of online. They're pretty generic, but they're very small footprint with a lot of articulation to go around, and they're very lightweight. And so you can kind of fit these in a very small package and transport them around. But if you were able to find some kind of articulating desk lamp like that, you could pack that into a little bin, and have yourself your mobile creation studio or crafting area, so to speak, and do it all up there. It does get a little heavy because I tend to, I put an airbrush compressor in there. I put my disposal pots. I put my little flushable. This guy over here. This is my little flushable fresh water station. When I use a brush, it just changes the water out for me. I put that guy in there. I put just a ton of stuff in there, more than I need, I know, but that way I have access to all the tools that I usually do anyways. But you could probably get away with something even lighter than that if you're just gonna have it be super mobile. Okay, yeah, there you go. Just that's kind of my philosophy is use what you got. I think you've probably heard that quite a few times here on the channel. But that would be my recommendation. It's get a couple like a desk lamp or two, even better. Two is better just because like if in the spray booth here, there's a light up on the right side, a light up on the left side, and it helps. If you look at this piece, there's very few shadows, minus what I've masked on it, but there's very few shadows on it. So you see exactly where you're creating shadows and such, but that might be a little overkill for just some lighter hobbying. But if you can get two, it is really nice. I've seen it. There are some professional painters and stuff out there, and they have dome lighting on their desks. That's what they do. Where they have, it's like LED strip lights, but they're crisscrossed like a dome across the table, and that way there are zero shadows. And it's light from literally every angle, like 360-degree lighting, for their stuff. And I just I don't have the money for that, or really the want either, because you have light that's blaring back at your eyes, and if you're going to be doing this for a couple hours at a time, that's like the last thing I'd want. I mean, another thing you could potentially do too is you could potentially just bring it outside. You know, get yourself a little folding table or like a TV tray or something, and you could just bring it right out to the sun. I've done outside painting before too, and I it's fun. I like it. It's kind of interesting to be not in your own studio, but just out in the world. And the sun, for some reason, really likes to dry paint fast. Just that outside environment is great. Probably not this time of year for you guys, especially because it's like hot, like really hot outside. Plate mail other than metallic. Are you like are you talking about just doing like silver metallic? Or are you talking about doing like non-metallic metal where like the paint is done in such a way where it's like pretending to be metal, so to speak? Because I've seen some really cool. You could take silver and then mix it with like a cobalt blue or that maybe that sky blue or something, and do it like that, and just try and steal out the metallic flecks from the silver, just using a little bit of it. That way you can get that reflective nature if you're looking for it with just a different color. Oh, oh, yeah, I for sure. Well, I mean, even then, like their armor didn't shine; it was matte finish. For well, I don't know if they were actual people or whatever, but the representations I've seen, I've never really seen the White Knight be represented with much else besides matte black armor. And even then, you could do like you could do gray with gray or black, and then use gray as kind of a highlight, like a very dark gray, or mix black with gray. And I would say that would probably give you a very cool effect. So for this shield, I'm gonna do a white shield. That's really gonna stick out like a sore thumb, and then I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do the griffin up in like silver or something like a. I'm gonna maybe do actually a metallic blue. That's what I'd like to do. I would look up, if you're really interested in, doing some armor pieces, look up what non-metallic metal looks like on like Google or something. Just check that out. I mean, it's a skill that takes a while to develop, but like if you're interested in furthering yourself as a painter in doing some of those things, just check it out and see if it's an appealing art style to you. And if it's not, that's it's not. And I personally don't do not I don't really do non-metallic metal. Man, I am messing up the English language. I don't prefer to do non-metallic metal because it's very time consuming, and unless I would be doing like a showpiece or something, I think I can just get good results with metallics and just kind of budget. but there are some serious painters out there that'll do that kind of stuff all day. How's the karate stuff been going? I've seen some of the older some of your older stuff where you're at the dojo. How's that been? I don't think have you, yeah, you've been around to see what this looks like unmasked, right? There we go. Okay, gotcha. Sounds like something I should probably think about too. So that's our gold pile so far, our treasure pile. I've been working on my core strength, um, which now come to think of it, I have skipped a couple of days of past couple of days here, and I should probably hold myself to continuing to do that. But my idea is to make sure I do at least one more sit up than the day before, and just kind of keep working on my core strength. I have great lifting muscles in my back, but uh, my my core needs some more work. Oh yeah, every dragon needs its sparkles for sure, for sure. Um, I'm just waiting for that white to dry off, and then I'm gonna. Um, I think I'm gonna get this griffin metallic blued. Probably do some touch up on the chests. I want to do something other than just have them be brown. I'd like to see if there's another color that strikes me as something to go for like the buckles, like the metal. I guess that's what I'm going to call them, as buckles, but the metal bits that are actually reinforcing the chest, um, ribs maybe on the chest. I'd like to see if I can figure out how to get those bad boys um, with a bit more flair to them. So, speaking of sky blue, we're actually going to use that gunmetal black, like because I've got Monument also sells a metallic medium, and all this is just this is just acrylic binder agent that is kind of the base of your acrylic paints, and then they add pigment into it, and that's kind of how you get these paints. But this is just acrylic medium with the metallic flecks in it. and you can add it to any color you'd like, and it comes out clear, you know, or it's a little opaque when it comes out of the bottle. But if you mix it with another color, though, it takes the pigment from the color, and the acrylic agent kind of just slides itself right in there. But you're talking about like maybe doing like a metallic black, like taking this metallic stuff and doing something like that. That sounds interesting. I also have like a really dark silver. Maybe if I show you that, you'll get an idea. I'm losing all my paints here. There. Here we go. Yeah, this is dark silver. Let's see what you think of that color. That is. I'll get my little disposable brush here. Well, not really disposable, but the not so nice brush out here. So this is that dark silver color. And that's on white. Is how it's on, you know, white printer paper, so you can kind of see how dark that is. See if we can give you an idea. That might do it, huh? Could do those on the latches for sure. Give it some pizzazz. But that's about as dark of a mother color as I could come up with. That. Where was I? Yeah, let's get our palette out. I'm gonna do some of the sky blue and metallic medium to turn it into metallic blue. And I'm only gonna need just a little bit of this. We're not doing a ton of stuff with this particular color. It's just this one piece. Come to think of it, I haven't used this metallic medium before, so that's fun. Now I've got transparent sparkles all over my gloves. It's like fairy dust in a bottle. So actually, maybe let me just kind of show you the process here. Just put a drop of this in. So I'm mixing this up 50-50 with the sky blue here, this metallic medium. And water, obviously, to thin it all down with, because you want the coverage too. That is really interesting. It just totally turned it pearlescent. I might even stick some more in there. Go all the way. With that, like let's just go overboard. That is really interesting. That is nuts. It's almost like automotive paint at that point. Like this is looking like a very hardcore automotive kind of pearlescent color that's coming out of this, and that's just interesting. Oh yeah, I have fun with paints here. It's so shiny. It's really pretty. It also thinned it down quite a bit too. I think it's just because it's got nothing but the acrylic binder in it. But we're gonna kind of paint up this griffin here in this pearlescent blue. Got this heavy King's Shield vibe going on this thing. Hey, there you go. Getting ready for the next day. Which reminds me, I probably should at some point too. I'm just going to kind of go around and edge highlight this bad boy around the shield with the same color blue. I'm just kind of angling the brush very shallow against the rim of the shield. There we have it. I think, sometimes subtlety is the best, what do they call it? Subtlety can be the best look and feel for some pieces. And I think that's it right there. I think if I take that much farther, it's going to kind of lose its charm. minus maybe doing just a really light wash on there. I don't even know. It kind of it that blue got just thin enough to make that almost kind of have its own highlights. But I think that did it. I think that did it. Now we're gonna do the clasps on the chests. I think I'm gonna probably do a couple of touch-up things off stream. There's just like this little let me use my fancy dancy pointing device, my dental pick here. But this little area in here needs some brown and some love to it. The little sack guys kind of need highlight. But I think we're gonna just do the clasps to kind of end tonight's stream, and then we're basically wrapped up. Talk about a journey. I think somebody asked me when we started this, like, how many hours do you think you're gonna put into this? And I said probably about 18 hours. And what do you know, we're just basically getting at 18 hours for this project. But it's been a fun one. I will admit. I'm just gonna get a little dash of this gold down on here because I just saw that even though I gave it my best shot, some of that blue ended up actually getting on some of these coins. I'm just gonna we're gonna get us just a quick little touch up paints here. Sneak those bad boys back in there where they belong. There we go. Hey, thanks, Grandma. Appreciate it. Hoi hoi. What a day, what a day. I think we gotta have if I can figure it out, we gotta have Bill Sylvia on here for a send off on his mini, and maybe a little or maybe when it gets to him, but share a nice toast or something to the dragon as it leaves the studio. She's kind of become a little shop staple, and that we've been working on for such a long time. And I can't wait for Bill to get her back home safe and sound, and on that Shelf of Glory, the oh so coveted Shelf of Glory. Yeah, maybe do something a little fun before she leaves. That was a really good suggestion there, RPG Grandma. The kind of gunmetal silver. on there. That was pretty spot on. That's looking really good. Not sure how well that's going to come up on the camera, but you can kind of see we've got. Yeah, it definitely does. I love that. It's got the old trunk feel and vibes that I was looking for. And I am all about it. I almost feel like the, community has done half the work on this thing with choosing the color palette for the, the entire piece. We had somebody suggested the doing the green floors, and I couldn't have agreed more. Once I started chucking it down, the green floors looked really good. Did you get a chance to check out the base, the custom base that Bill wanted for the dragon? Did you see the finished product there, Grandma, by chance? I'll pull it out for you if you haven't. It turned out really well. Used it on barrels too. Okay. Yeah, barrels would be, yeah, for sure. Give it that old kind of cask feel to it. Yeah, let me grab that base real quick. So here we've got. So this was the base that we painted up for the treasure pile that Bill wanted. And the flagstones they have some hints of green in them, as well as the actual little smaller pieces are. It's kind of hard to pick it up on the camera, but they're more of like an emerald, kind of, or like a forest green going on there. So kind of did a green paint scheme on the on this particular base. And that turned out really well in my opinion. And then I think you've seen this guy already. This was our little hatchling friend that that has finally gotten out of his egg. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of technically Christmas colors, but I was like, you know what? I don't think it's gonna look like that. You know, I don't think it's gonna contrast necessarily all the way that way. I'm gonna get my hand in the way there just a little bit. I'm trying not to get this silver into the gold. Silver and gold. I am just a little bit flabbergasted at how much that silver has brought out these chests. Great suggestion. That is just perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. And we've done it. Well, I think that is basically what we're after here. Um, that turned out really well. Um, yeah. Let's see. We are about 2 hours into the stream. Woo! All right. So yeah, about 2.5 hours total tonight. I think I'm gonna leave this here for now. Again, we're just gonna do some touch up stuff on it off stream in the studio here. But I will be putting out some pictures of this guy, all of the component pieces and whatnot on YouTube here over the next coming little bit, next couple of days probably. But that is a Red Dragon complete in my book for Paint Minis. So one down, about a million more to go. And you know what? We're gonna have fun doing every single one of them. RPG Grandma, thanks for keeping us company. I appreciate it. Todd, thanks for hanging around. I know you were in here for a bit too. Sapphire, thanks for coming around. Anybody who's just catching the stream here, please go check out our channel and take a look at you can just thumb through them if you want, and use the little slider thing and catch all the cool points for some of the other bits and pieces of the Grenadier Red Dragon stream that we've done here. But go check those out. If you like what you see, bring a friend next time, and you guys can have something to chat about and critique my painting, and help pick out colors and whatnot. But for Paint Minis Live, I'm Bill T. I've been your host here tonight. Thank you so much for coming, and stay safe and take care out there. Bye-bye now.